Generally, if you take a look at like a best of 3 series that repeats over the course of like a very small space of time, like 2 days, for example, like we have here in this context, a lot of the time you'll find that the team that lost the first time doesn't lose the second time. So will Wisla be able to turn things back to their favor? I know that that's a very, very bold statement to make, and I'm definitely looking at a very, limited sort of pool of results to pull from in that respect. Sure. But if Wisla have done any preparation here, it will show in this best of 3 series as we get to the pistol round of our first map of the Grand Final.
Sinner's just going aggressive, wanting to take map control away, getting into that short water position, and so far for Wisla, they're anticipating it. They're watching for that short pipe push.
2 players in Monster, Oscar and Shock trying to press in. Do they see anybody? No. Zedko takes that first contact and first kill alongside Shock with that secondary one. Goofy with a responsive, backs his way in towards the short control and will dome Shock to get a second pick and a triple no. PHR stolen that frag, but it's still a 3-for-2 trade that favors Wisla. They're not in the bomb site just yet, though. They're suppressed out of short. They could rotate to A.
Incredibly well played there from Wisla. Rather than just getting the bomb down and playing out a post plant, they realized just how many players are in short water. Okay, let's take fights. Let's try and get advantages back. Now they've got a 3-on-2. They can slow it down. They can start playing the mind games. And Neofrag's thinking to himself, did they just back off? Did they go back into T-Sport? Are they taking some park control? I've got no idea. I'm going to have to go up to A just to spot for info.
Sparrow will lead that charge in the B site. Contested by the Sinner side. B-Stick falling back towards jungle, expecting PHR to pop out, and that's exactly what he does. Headshot perfect. Swing back on a second man. Not quite as easy, but he still comes in for the double. And Sparrow just left behind the pillar to pick up that bomb, get it planted, seeing one individual knows that B-Stick's somewhere out in the open, taking that contact against the Heaven man, get his shot back to a 1v1 scenario. B-Stick suppressed, sees him crossing, 20 seconds, taps continue for the USP. He's looking for that headshot, as Sparrow's going to peek out, and the adjustment for the triple works well to get Sinners the pistol.
I think B-Stick's trying to send us a message today. Stop talking about Oscar. Stop talking about Neofrag. Let's talk about the in-game leader. What a hold that was out for that right-hand side of Graffiti. Wisla, they put themselves in a grand position. They aggress out. They give themselves a 3-on-2. They scramble the CDs. They force Neofrag to go back up to the A side. Sparrow, lovely tap into that Heaven position. It's still not enough. B-Stick fighting 3.
As they say, he is a B-Stick. The first round of the board, the Sinner side.
We're going this early on. We're not even into the second round, mate.
Don't ever let me make a joke again on stream. Start off again for the Sinners side. They've got the advantage. They've got the rifle bases now for the second round. No bomb plant of Wisla either, so the force buy will still come in, but it's going to be much weaker than you would expect.
Yeah, and honestly, for Sinners, they have been very good with their pistol round win percentage. They're first in the entire event, 8 wins and 4 losses. They can now put that up to 9. They have struggled with the round 2 conversion, Jay. They're actually last for winning pistol and converting the second. So maybe that's what Wisla have done their homework in and saying, actually, Sinners have really struggled with these second rounds, so let's buy it up, even though we didn't get a bomb plan.
Sparrow's the Eagle moving in from Birthday Party. I think we spotted one man out towards that mid control. It's Oscar. Then we'll get PHR and kick things off with his SMG in this round. Money to be gained by him and by B-Stick himself. B-Stick opting not to go for the rifle despite having 3 kills on the majority of frags in that previous round. He wants more money and he's going to get it. Finding Sparrow, seeing Goofy as well. 5-on-3 as his teammate comes in to wrap out towards Connector. Not directly supporting him though. He's going to try to play the trade game or just wrap them on the trader or the rotations. One frag comes in for the Galil, and the Eagle strikes to a 3-on-3.
And Neofrag's going to have to step up. Rotation's still going to be slow up to this A side for Wisla. They've got to go. They've got no time to act. They've got to go into A.
Goofy's leading that charge. Buff 10 seconds on the clock. Neofrag at the back of the site. Flashbang's perfect. Easy kill for Zedko. Doubling up, tripling in. And that's a second round for the Board of Sinners. Great utility usage. Wisla just caught so blinded in that entry.
It just shows how important coordination is. That flash just pops in a perfect position to just allow so many kills to come up from that truck angle. And for a moment there, Wisla, they're recovering the round again. They get a nice pick from Goofy. Good deagle shot to come in onto Oscar. And for Neofrag, he doesn't even need to do much on the side. He can swing out to that right-hand side. Peek on from Zedko. Sinners up to their second. Wisla, no bomb plan again. Not even really a lot of damage in that last round.
Yeah, 2-0 to the start. Wisla. It's down to the eco now. More of a deco than it is a full-on eco. They've got some firepower. The SMG should still be able to clean them up here. There's no Kevlar at all for Wisla.
Yeah, you got to imagine these MP9s are hungry for blood. Just farm up as much cash as possible. Goofy's waiting for the aggression.
He will catch it. Get tags on the first second. Get both those kills as well on the second face. Spotting a third individual. Oscar's also there with a little bit of support. Triple up. B-Stick and continue pressing forward with Oscar leading that charge. Wants his quadra, maybe even be able to get his ace. Shades of Han on the AWP earlier today, and yes, it will come through. Full on 5 frags, just 3 rounds deep into this game.
Yeah, it's a momentum booster for Oscar. It's going to fuel some confidence. The all-important round is going to be the next, though. That's when we're going to see the rifles coming out, probably see an AWP to follow for Marcos and over for Oscar. They could even still take it as a bonus round, try and see if they can use those SMGs forward, and yeah, they are not upgrading Oscar to an orb.
I mean, the only player that really needed to buy down was B-Stick, who fell, and even he's going in with the FAMAS, the AUG. Brought down by Nia, frag passed off to him, keep the economy line at a generally similar level across all CT players. Might harm them when it comes to the rebuy back in, but they have got drop potential, so a lot to work with here for the CT forces, and they're still picking apart the AKs. Shock up out towards the toxic barrels will get Goofy first. Nades in against Jedka, won't be able to take him down that easily. He will find that kill back on Shock, and the trade's good to a 4v4. Shoulders out, not ready for Zedko to be so close to the kill. Comes in, and past the smoke, he just spotted Spiro. Gets him now, 2 left standing in PHR and Marcos. Trying to work out of the short and monster positions. The AWP in particular has left the bomb back there. He's got to go back for it. A minute for Wisla to try and recover this.
It's just looking so energetic to come through from Sinners. They're trying to put as much pressure on in the early round as possible. We go into the first rifle. Oscar's aggressing Fountain. He's getting into Park. Okay, what are the B players doing? They're putting pressure on Monster. They're trying to make it as uncomfortable as possible for Wisla. And even for Zedko, he's still hanging around. He could find more.
Marcos is suspecting that he might be out there at Monster. The AK is ready to face, and Marcos is playing passive. PHR gets his kill. Marcos with a jump over will get a 2 versus 2 scenario with that trade. Neofrag's fallen in the interim. B-Stick and Oscar. Oscar on a backstab. I don't think he'll catch anybody. He will continue to play around these backlines so long as his teammate can hold off. He'll be able to get the backstab in. Oh my god! He snuck right past the AWP, hearing those scopes. He's using all the info to his favor. They have no idea. They're going to line up. It's 2 kills for the MP9. And patience is a virtue, as Oscar will prove for the 4th round for Sinners.
Now, how do we pinpoint that, Jay? Is that Oscar being an absolute god, or is that the most unfortunate timing in the world to come for the AWP? Marcos is going to be sitting there in the TeamSpeak and saying, guys, I'm telling you, Monster was clear.
It might be a little bit of both, honestly. Because Oscar, like, why, if you're going to backstab through Monster, why would you hide in the short pipe?
Yeah, true.
Very well done from him. Maybe a little bit of luck was on his side. But ultimately, it was his veteran mind that gave him the wherewithal to go for that position. And it's 4-0 for the Sinners so far in this map. Wisla's pick not off to the greatest of starts. And they're down to the half by 4 it. And the economy should be able to bolster to max and get guns out for the 6th round. But for round 5, I mean, there's no reason you can assume that Wisla can steal this at the moment. It's just been looking so much better for Sinners. Like you mentioned, it looks just so much more energetic.
Yeah, and for viewers at home, there's a lot that you can pull from with stats and numbers and tournament runs and everything like that. Another aspect you have to start thinking about in grand final positions is mindset, right? That Sinners, they've just come off the back of losing to Gamer Legion a little bit earlier today. They get knocked off out of a closed qualifier. All right, let's bounce back. Let's try and really get in. And so far, they're looking comfortable. They're looking really on the ball, and the money situation is just fantastic for them.
Smokes on Oscar. Depressing on one side. A couple smokes into the back lines here for the T side line. It's Oscar's orb that will find that first kill. And that second, they will sneak a bomb plant in for the T's. Oscar knows that. Tech line's coming out somewhere. Goofy will get caught by the FAMAS B-Stick. So 2 players left standing, both out of pizza. Should be detected as the smoke clears up. I don't know if Oscar can get the collateral. He won't need to do so, though. And Deagle on the first man. Zedko cleans up the last. Respectable half by for this, so they've got a bomb plant at least.
It's something. It's an extra. And you'd have to imagine that for Wisla, take the early tactical, because wasn't it you, Jay, that was rambling on that we didn't see tacticals? Because, yeah, we actually didn't see tacticals in the bowls.
Yeah, that was a bit tilting yesterday when we saw them being down by several rounds, and of course in the infamous comeback that you mentioned on Overpass from yesterday. Now would be a good moment to do so. They're not going to opt on it here. Wisla taking the rifles into the next round. But something's going to have to change soon, regardless of tacticals or otherwise. Several players really not showing up to the server today.
Yeah, and Oscar, to think that he's 12-2 and he hasn't even really had the AWP in his hands for a lot of these rounds is a scary prospect moving forward for the rest of the series. We know how much damage this guy can do, and he's doing it already. The spam's coming in both ways towards that connected position. Very passive from Wisla. They are not taking early map control at all on this T side.
The jump face to look for info on the CT basis, and unfortunately for Jedka, he was in the midst of that smoke when the jump came in. So Neofrag thinks that nobody's out there, and he's halfway to correct. Most of the main T-side forces are in the mid and long challenges, and they've got a bit of a boost going on to allow Oscar with the AWP. He'll find that first kill on Marcos and then immediately fall back.
And notice how he's got a teammate there to back him up. So even with B-Stick, just going to put the smoke down, back up the AWP up, make sure that there's no way of a counter swing that someone's coming out from the bathrooms, and just play the AWP as supportive as possible. They've even rotated that third player in Neofrag up to the A site. And for Wisla, what are their options? They're light on util. They haven't managed to pick. They haven't got a lot of map control outside of long. Probably just bring that bomb into A, honestly.
Seems like the best call. Oscar leaning in with the AWP, just trying to establish some presence in the bathrooms. I believe he just got contacted by Goofy's part, or he scope in, jump out, shot on. B6 going to cover mid and get 2 kills for it. Nice crossfire, locked out both main entryways, covered, and B-Stick will even turn it into a triple. No need for the AWP to strike hard. Sinners have 6.
I'm feeling here for Wisla in a big way because Oscar's not missing. And when you've got an AWP but not missing, you're going to have a tough time. You can use the util, you can peek together. There are ways in which you can try and make it more uncomfortable for Oscar and try and put pressure on him. It's just that when you've got him performing at this kind of a level, to be able to bounce back, Jay, it's near impossible. And it does seem as if we're probably going to get this round restored, I would think, Jay. No?
Or
okay,
not.
we're back. No,
okay,
here
just
we are.
feed problems. We're fine. It's all good. No need for round restores.
Gave it some food.
Yeah. And gave a little bit of an energy drink to the hamsters in the server wheel. And just picked up the pace a little bit, man, to keep the Go TV running. No chance, mate. No
yeah,
chance.
sorry, what am I thinking? What am I thinking there?
Well, when we saw these two teams play 2 days ago over on this overpass map, it was a 25-23 scoreline. This isn't looking like it's going to be 25-23, Dwayne. This probably, unless Vista pick it up soon, they could be losing pretty one-sidedly on this map.
Well, you got to remember, when you actually go back to and look at the fire details, Vista started T-side, obviously, it was their map pick, so it was the side of choice to come in from Sinners. 5 rounds on T-side was what Vista found. They've got to be able to try and push that for more, and even that's going to be difficult. You've got 4 players on B here for Sinners, and Vista, they're going to be going B.
Jumps out, facing in. M4 of Zedko back behind the pillars. Got Neofrag and Shock to back him up. Crossfire's locked for 2 kills apiece. Neofrag will turn it into a triple, and Sinners just dismantle the hit for Wisla. Man alive, this is starting to get seriously out of control. And again, I'm going to come back to that point, Dwayne. When did the tactical pause get called in? Yeah. When do Wisla change their mentality and change their pace?
You'd have to imagine Sparrow's scratching his head there, thinking, how did they know? There wasn't many tells, there wasn't a lot of information that was gathered, and Sinners played 4 on B. I think that's the first time this entire half they've actually played 4 as a complete gamble.
Very fast play in from Vista out towards the connector and mid positions. Doesn't bother the rifles here. Oscar and B-Stick just hitting shots after shots. And Oscar even turns it into a triple with a deagle. Bombing his control. Sparrow's out towards long. And you're right, his AWP just isn't missing. No one's missing for Sinners. It's 8-0. And Wisla, I mean, they're in trouble. They're in serious trouble. This is their map pick.
Yeah, this is horrible. And even for Sparrow, what can you get? 1 kill at most. Surely there's no way they can bait the AWP. Oscar just need to hold the bomb, tries to go back into the bathrooms, and that's his 18th kill, Jay, in 8 rounds. I mean, that is just sick. That's unreal. What did I say when the video came up, mate? What did I say? I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling overpass. 5-map losing streak. The way that the game went down against Fiend, I didn't want them to go to this map.
Well, it's the map they chose because they play it so often. Try something a bit different in this round. The tower boost for Marcos, hoping that someone jumps out of heaven. Or go for the boost up in general. Is it in his vision? Is he double scoped? I don't think he saw him, no. They back off. And they are at least trying to change something in their ranks, but it isn't good enough. And I think, honestly, seeing what we've seen so far, like, you might be bang on the money with that.
Yeah, Wisla, I guess they're going back to home turf. They're going back to what they know. And just any time you play a risk in the veto, it's not you maybe thinking positively. It's maybe the mindset of, we're not going to feel comfortable in this map, so let's go elsewhere. Oscar just with that crossfire. Oh my goodness, almost killed his teammate.
Oh, well, Beastic's killing Goofy with deadly accuracy. Perfect burst fire. And you can see this, they're looking at their dead teammates wondering, I don't want to peek on that position, I'm going to die. Where do we go from there? Maybe they might not even have to peek. Beastic's leaning up, but Marcos loses his teammate in the back lines. They might not be ready for the AWP. And indeed, there can be one trade, but it's coming so late. 3 casualties taken by Wisla. Second player's revealed himself, and Neofrag lets him walk no further than the stairs. Marcos, 1v4. Oh boy. Oh, Wisla, this is really not looking good.
I kind of want to pin it the other way, to be honest. I don't think Wisla are playing poorly. I just think they're getting completely outclassed. And when you have a look at Sinners over the course of this bracket, yeah, they're 6-0. They haven't dropped a single map. We haven't really seen a convincing Sinners. There was that one map against Onyx, which was Onyx's map pick on Inferno, where it was, what, like 16-2, and they just absolutely destroyed them. Other than that, every map has been close. Every map has gone down to double digits on their opponents. They're even going to try and see if they can hunt the AWPer down after time. I don't think Zedko's going to get there in time, so there's no way they can drop Marcos. It just feels as if Sinners have just unleashed the beast going into this one.
Yeah, they have come into this matchup with a fire under themselves, and they're spraying flames all over Wisla. Timeout has been called.
It's so late though, isn't it?
Yeah.
9 rounds have already passed.
I was gonna say, it's like, I'm happy to see it coming in, but it should have been when it was 5-0, really. That's when they should have called in the tactical. Because Wisla, they might have already lost this map here, unless they managed to channel some inner potential, some inner life. Like, we saw them go 8-0 up against Fiend yesterday, obviously. So we've seen that potential from them, but we need to see it so much sooner, and we need to see it just come back to be just as perfect as Sinners are looking right now.
Sinners may even have the approach of just continuing to put pressure on with early picks, just always being able to fight for the opening advantage. We're seeing a couple of players in con, flash over the top out to short water. So there's just so much map presence being gained already, and look at Neofrag, look how far he's pushing forward.
Red card, dead. Easy kill. Neofrag not even past the 50 HP marker. Wow, what a start, and what a kill to find just so much map control and information. Beastic's hearing footsteps as well towards top mids. The rotations will be called in. They know that short's open. They know that Monster's completely cleared up. Oscar will turn his AWP into a kill for it. Marcos down, Sparrow next to take face, and probably to face in against the crossfire of the CT players here at the bathroom's entrance. 60 seconds, and even a backstab coming in from Beastic. Like, they've just got all their bases covered.
And they just know what's going on. And Wisla, because they're so slow to act on these defaults, they've been running the clock. It's just allowing backstabs to come in pretty much every round. AWP just nearly getting caught off with the timing, even though for Oscar doesn't fall, and Beastic's watching con.
Still hearing the scope of Goofy as well. We'll call it in. Like, yep, there's an AWP in mid, guys. Be wary of that. Although Oscar can probably win that fight anyway, so have fun. 19 HP for him, though. He's getting more top out of position. They haven't checked signpost, so Zedko can get one good kill in alongside Beastic's backstab, finally converting itself in, getting his double up. Only one trade found. And that's the key thing about these rounds. It's not like they're just going towards Sinners by like a scrape or like a little scratch. Yeah. Just like 1v1 scenarios. No, they lost one guy in that, and it's been like that round after round. Look at the economy line for the Sinners here.
There's not a lot of deaths, that's for sure. Even Shock hasn't really had to do a lot. 4 kills, 2 deaths. He's been playing out to that B side. Hasn't really found much as being an anchor. And for Wisla, try and get some pace, something quick. B exec, maybe.
Smokes ahead of the short control. They will establish some short presence before they go for the full-on hit, but they're being countered by the HGs. Sinners just have this red, and they have the kills as well. Neofrag with a kill on PHR. The flashes going over. The Tech9s finally execute. The AK and Neofrag holds back position. M4 in Z. Coach Barrow gets one kill in the interim, but Neofrag still kicking and screaming. 3 kills on for the Quadra, and it's stolen away by Zedko at the end of it. Doesn't matter though. Sinners 11-0.
I hate being that guy, Jay, but Wisla are playing like a team that's ranked 66th in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, when we see the way they've played over the course of this tournament, I'd put them much higher. I'd say, geez, getting a win over BP5, beating Fiend twice, keeping it close against Sinners. They're up there with some of the likes of the top end of Tier 2, and they were really impressing me. Today, I could not say the same.
No, 100%. Like, it's just, the dream run, the not miracle run, but the impressive run that we've seen from Wisla so far these last few weeks has just come crashing down here in this match. Zedco's already found the first pick on the bomb carrier, so the CTs have tons of info. They've now got a triple man crossfire in the mid control. Haven't spotted the players on the left-hand side. Zedco can get a kill on Neofrag for it. AWP known, they do fight on Zedco, and finally, Wisla have a man advantage.
Had too much confidence there for Sinners. They won out the opening fight. Neofrag did not need to aggress as far as he did. Oscar's looking to try and see if he can bounce back. Does get baited by Sparrow at least.
Shot does miss from Oscar this time. Uncharacteristic as it has been so far for this matchup. He's been hitting everything. So it does give a window in for Sparrow to make his lean up, and Oscar's going to fall back passive. Two CTs in connector and short will keep their eyes on in case Wisla go for a rotate, and they will. Can't counteract it much, though. They might have to take contact, fall back, and wait for the rotations to defend the site itself.
Wisla, you'd have to imagine that just a lurk attempt from Sparrow might be able to find an avenue approach. Just get back into heaven, try and assist the B players. The problem is you've still got shocks out from the sandbags, and B-Stick, he's getting the information. It's not A, guys.
Molotov's up, Orb shot in, does catch Jedka, 3 on 3, leads back in for a bit more, not ready for Marcos to be as extended as far as he is. The AUG, however, on short, has 2 players to line up, and he'll get them both. Drop that bomb, even cover off the connector entrance, Shock will get his triple, and for the first time ever, it's a 1v1 clutch there for the Sinner side to win. Still 12-0 though, the board has spiraled out of control.
Just notice how slow that round is again from Wisla. They put themselves in such a great position. 4 on 3, and then, okay, B-Stick, the con player, he's gone up to the top of con. There's, what, 30-odd seconds left on the clock. He's not seeing anything, so they know it has to be the play into B. The only other chance is everyone's long, and that just, the chance of that happening is so damn low. And Sinners, they keep pushing the fight again.
Kill from B-Stick, already finding Sparrow, trying to fall back out. Knows that the T side are coming here, and Oscar's going to hear those footsteps, get nades at the ready. Try to throw them out towards Decon. I think they might have missed out there. And the Tech9 Goofy does find B-Stick somehow, so good Tech9 shooting from long range. AWP's ready to counteract it, though. Gets that shot back in, refaces, sees the head, and gets that second kill somehow. That was fantastic.
What do you do against that? Honestly, I think to myself, there really isn't much. Oscar has just been so key for this team. So many multi-frags. Sinners looking for their 13th round in a row. Wisla, oh my goodness. This is a scary wake-up call.
Well, welcome back to reality, boys. Up in a PHR, hoping he can catch something out towards long. He has found a kill on Oscar at least to grab that bomb. The backstab's being wrapped in, however, by Zedco. He's got a good read on the man, and does given up a second kill. Shout out to the M4 as well. Try to take the automatic weapon in for the fight. Might be able to secure a bomb plant from here, but it's still a 1-on-2 scenario.
It's promising, at least. It finally feels like a round that could be winnable. And with Sinners playing so passive in the bathrooms, if he just plants for truck or open for bank, it's an easy chance of getting the bomb down.
Oh, isolates another fight on Shock, but unfortunately Shock's got a better weapon. Headshot easy against the head of the man. We go to 13-0. This continues spiraling out of control here, Wisla. It was an eco of a sort, to be fair, so we can't expect too much out of that round. I would say that 3 casualties would do decent damage, but they've got 10k on the float. Like, there's no way you're doing damage without getting around here. Wisla back up on the gun. This is where they've got to get some impact soon, else they'll be at a 15-0.
Oh, triple boost. Oh, it's actually being seen. They know what's going on. Neofrag still gets a kill with it.
I don't know how he got away with that. The T's had that perfectly counted, but here we are. A 4-on-4 scenario. A smoke down over a monster, and Wisla.
Oh, boost again.
Passive positions account. Another boost. Another boost is perfect. Zedco looks up in connector. Doesn't see anything. Doesn't see anything down at the platform at the water position. Edgar's waiting over on short on the entrance. They can't see that from the booze. They might have to take direct contact.
And they're just waiting for a mistake. Jedka hoping for a sloppy rotation from the pillar down to that monster position. And just a straight spam as that smoke goes down. That's the in-game leader, Aspiro, now falling. And for Wisla, they're desperate for picks. They're attempting anything at this point. Getting Marcos aggressive up to A with the orb. A couple of B players hoping for a pick. Getting closer to 45 seconds left on the clock. Surely there aren't many chances in this. Maybe going to A is their best option.
Oscar and Beestick are the players here to defend against it. Beestick might give up a kill to Marcos if he starts extending. I think that AWP is watching the mid-control. He is now, at least. Jump face trying to get Marcos to peek out. Firing away from the M4. Trying to bait in the Wisla side. Third player on the way back. Oscar's dropped the bomb. That's info. That's 16 seconds of the clock in a 2v4 scenario. Sinners still hold control, and they'll keep control. There's nothing Marcos can do to get back control of this round. Fired away. Blind shots, sprays, covering fire to get him out of dodge. They're going to go hunting. They might even kill him off the time. That would be disastrous. He does keep a hold of Beestick. But it's 14-0 as we head to the last round of the half.
Honestly, Jay, I could not remember the last time I have seen a slapping this hard for a team that only played each other a handful of days ago when it was so competitive. When you think the last time we went to overtime on this map, they're 0-14 down, Wisla.
Yeah, it's not great. It's really not great.
2 days ago, Jay. It's not even a few months. It's literally 2 days.
Well, PHR finally finds a couple of picks and a connector. 2 for 1 of the responsive. The opening kill did come in for the CT side, but finally a man advantage in these early contact phases from Wisla. Sinners trying to hunt down for another trade back on Oscar, but PHR gets him for the triple. Okay, one of our players to watch, the guy that you highlighted the most as being an impact difference maker for Wisla, has made the difference now in round 15.
It's something to smile about. That's a great round so far from PHR. They've got to continue to deliver. Zedko with the AWP. Don't really see him AWPing a massive amount. Has to defend the A side. He's completely alone.
AWP just facing out. AK's walking in. Zedko jump facing. He may have spotted one. He may hear some footsteps of Sparrow as well. Facing's going to be risky. Just barely spots the shoulder, and the AK's on for the kill. And that's shocking. A 1v4, and it looks like Wisla will get at least one consolation round at the end of this half. But at best, it's still 14-1. It's still going to be a monstrous CT side to bring this back.
Yeah, it's just Shock. Try to do the best that he can. Get away with a kill. Try and see if he can get some more impact in this round. But really, it's just not going to happen at all. Wisla getting there first. And at least it's a positive note, Jay, going into this second half. You'd have to imagine so much needs to happen after this break.
Still 2 rounds for Sinners to get in above Wisla. And a 13-round comeback for the Polish side on their own map pick. At least there's a CT half of things to egg, but I don't imagine they're going to have much in this one. It really has been a slapping from the Czech squad.
And even the aggression, it has to pay off. Marcos has to find something, and it just doesn't happen at all. Even for Jedka, he backed off so quickly that Marcos was by himself. Marcos had to get a 1-for-1 because there was no support coming in. And even this wrap down to the B side, they've only got one defender of Goofy.
OSP set in. Goofy trying to see if he can back up here towards the ramp position. High set on for the short control as the Glocks will face, and Goofy gets that kill for it. Starting things off on the right foot. Sparrow follows suit alongside Goofy with now a 2 versus 4 scenario. Taps up, B-Stick can return towards Goofy's position and trying to get that bomb to the site as Oscar brings it onto a 2 versus 2. Sparrow's so low, he's a dead man as well. And Sinners have held in there. They've hung into the round, and they will look to try and secure the round itself to get them up on map point on their opponent's map pick. It only takes a pistol. And Jedka knows it. He's fighting back, gets that 1 kill. Sees B-Stick, tags him all the same. And he's still got some fight left in him as he holds his own 1v2 clutch, and Wisla get their 2nd round.
An all-important clutch that has to come through, and honestly, it's actually been Goofy and PHR to be winning a lot of clutches in from Wisla. I haven't seen Jedka get a massive amount of him, so that's going to feel good, because for Sinners, everything looked like it was going quite well. They go into that B site, Goofy holds on for as long as possible, and then even for a moment, it seems like Oscar's bringing this round back from a 2v4 deficit, and, well, Jedka, he was there to deliver when it mattered the most.
That he was. Big openings for him here in this half. Big round that Wisla absolutely needed to take. Had they fallen in that one, then that would have been pretty much lights out for them. No chance to get back into this game. Of course, Sinners did get a bomb plant, so they've got Galils and AKs back in. And technically, the buy looks a little bit better than what Wisla have got. So if they can maintain these rifles and get this next round back, then that would cripple them even further, and they'd be even in worse position had they lost the pistol.
Yeah, you know, any position of losing the next when you're down 2-14 does not look good. Wisla, they've got to hang on here. They really have just, at least for the mindset of, let's not just feel as if the game is over going into the second map. Even if they lose their map pick, just make it as competitive as possible. And having 3 on A might be that way forward.
Shock's leaning in. Sparrow and Jedka will be the first 2 players that he'll see when he crosses out. I think Sparrow's seen his shoulder, and indeed he catches him for 4 points of HP. Marcos can get his kill. M4 back in near frag. Responds with the AK. Marcos' SMG has the HP advantage to turn it back to a 4 versus 3. Meanwhile, the AK for B-Stick leans out, sees Marcos' backside sticking out, and will get the kill back to an even standing again. Sparrow in the back of the site takes swing, wins out that next fight, and holds on to the advantage for Wisla. Alongside Goofy chiming in a Zedco, leaving Oscar in a 1v3. He sends one man flying, which is a start out for him. He's to grab that bomb, get it planted, looking towards mid-control, going to account for the dumpster angle. We'll tap that bomb once, try and force Goofy out, sees him. Now got to turn in towards bathrooms. PHR just got to wait for the night bomb plant. That's exactly what he'll do.
Well handled there for Wisla in the 2v1. They don't overpeak, they just jiggle for information. And even for Jedka and Marcos, they're just wasting time. This MP9 just staying alive, allowing time for those rotators to get through. And for Sparrow, just the amount of impact he's able to find from this truck position means that Oscar's got to try and win a 1v3. Makes it as expensive as possible. They don't get another bomb down, so I can't really see a way that Sinners force.
And the Deagle's out of the half, more of a decode really, no half buy, there's no Kevlar, there's not a lot of utility. Try and play early in towards the short control for Zedco, look for an opening frag, you'll see one man crossing, but it's just damage being done to him and B-Stick. SMG also pretty far forward of the CT side. Marcos is looking for his frags out of the T-con position. Sparrow spots the first man, gets that kill alongside Goofy, who gets a kill of his own. Sparrow and Marcos continuing to keep the hurt going, grab that bomb position, and probably grab the round from here.
You'd have to imagine so. Neofrag just hoping that something gets created out with this Deagle, that he can force in some overly aggressive peaks, if that is at all possible. Zedco trying to see if he can deal with one of these B anchors down with his Deagle himself. And Neofrag's got to try and get back to that bomb. Even that's going to be a difficult ask. Okay, it's 1 kill. It's a weapon that gets dropped. Can he follow up again onto Spirit towards that left-hand side? Jeez! Lovely crosshair placement.
M4 now in hand.
Winnable, question mark?
We'll find out. Making a fair amount of noise. PHR is going to know that he's up there in birthday party, or does he think he's out towards long? Connector presence being coming in from. Make that footstep, back turn, chance PHR to strike. Neofrag's going to continue baiting, and actually the flashbang comes in. Nicely timed there for Jedka, and Neofrag didn't see it coming, so not winnable at the end of that. But still looked on, like those shots of the Deagle, they were pretty crisp.
Yeah, and you can just notice as well that utility coming over. One of the great aspects with overpass between A and B is there's a lot of open skyboxes, so you will see a lot of flashes and counter utility coming through to try and back up teammates on that CT side. And for Sinners, this is now where you would imagine they turn it up again. Tower boost to come in, just missing the heaven drop. Might be able to catch the other one at PHR. No, they actually don't get it up in time.
No, that's not good enough. Oscar is actually going to get countered by Jedka instead. Top of the box is in the default position, and that's going to be a kill for Wisla. And now we're starting to see them find some decent counter plays here. They're reading what Sinners are doing. Getting the kills back on Marcos will at least bring it to a 4 versus 4. So, well done for Zedco. But where does Sinners play with this? They've got so much aggression to find.
It could be the complete opposite to their game against Fiend yesterday, where instead of having massive leads and struggling to close, it's the other way around, where they've struggled to put early rounds on, and now they're starting to come back into this. Even Neofrag waiting for that speak out, any sort of jiggle onto Jedka, could be a walkout monster.
If you sat here with the M4 B-stick, gun barrel seen, shoulder not, flash in. Molotov actually out towards the toxic barrel's position. He's going to get caught in the open, so B-stick turns the advantage back. There's no one directly on that B site. The bomb should commit here. B-stick sees Jedka and swings out in the middle of a spray to get the headshot in and get the 4-on-2 post plant for Sinners.
I don't know what else to say, but that was just pure class to come through from B-Stick. You can see the way they're trying to bait by showing the slight gun barrel out from the monster position. Rather than peeking, they decide to get the molly down to the toxic barrels. And as soon as that sound cue gets hit, as soon as they know that Goofy is there in that position of barrels, they peek. They try and catch him repositioning, and then B-Stick follows up with another one towards the sandbags. Unbelievable stuff.
Well, that's map point for Sinners at last. Took a bit of time to get there. Not nearly as long as it took Vista to get their first round on the board. And at least they have a little consolation prize in the 4 rounds that they could have very easily not gotten. Indeed, map point for Sinners on their map pick. Wisla will now need to really step up to the table. I mean, they've got the counterplays involved. The question is the economy and the state of the buy, because they were tagged very heavily. They lost a lot of players in that one. They will get the rifles out, but it's limited utility sets.
It just sucks to not see a star player at all. We know what the likes of Goofy and PHR can do. Even Marcos on that last map against Fiend yesterday on Ancient was really stepping up. And just the individuals are having a difficult time here for the polls.
Something we leveled as criticism towards Vista in the past as well. Like we mentioned before, though, they don't really have a star player at certain points. Like they have some capable individuals, but they're not quite to the level of stars that we've seen Vista bolster themselves around. Like we can always call back to Hades, for instance, and see how well he was doing in the context of this team. There's no one quite like that here, even though we've got some players who could be, you know, repurposed to that kind of a role. We don't have that role anymore here. Wisla will walk their way into the default. Sinner's going to do the same thing here towards the T-side line. Into the bathrooms. You've got Sparrow stands alone ahead of the smoke. Shock's made his way past him. Maybe they could bait in that CT.
Now, A is very open with this long position to come through from Wisla. They've got PHR on a pretty decent off angle that the Ts might not expect at all. It all just comes down to how much information and contact these long players can get.
Utility in, the M4 watching for Sparrow. Yeah, Frag gonna make some noise. Oscar might make his way in as well. They might think Bathrooms is entirely opened up, and maybe Sparrow could catch that bomb planter here. Ooh, the lean out. Time well enough. That's an all-important kill. That's going to stall Sinners for a little bit extra length of time. Flash forward, M4 back in to see Neofrag, and Sparrow wins an all-important second. A 5 versus 3. Now the AWP Marcos can strike. Cleared out along, looking in towards mid. PHR seeing Zedco distracted, and Oscar in a 1v5 has got to save the AWP.
Well handled to come in from Wisla. As soon as they drop that bomb, it's just right. How many distractions can we pull? And they even know the AWP's here towards Connector, so a chance to try and hunt down after time if they really want to risk it by opening up the condor. Oscar's going to be raiding to try and see if he can get the pop shot through, and Jedka's actually managed the wall bang. They have got a little bit of luck going their side. A great kill to drop that AWP after time too.
That's going to suck. That is going to suck so hard. Sinners. Yeah. Heavy economical damage done thanks to that. Oscar will get dropped an AWP to get back into this round with, but had to buy the head Kevlar because he had $1,000 and no more, no less. AK's on two other individuals. Sinners will force the buy up here. Wisla will know that they've gone on a force. They just try and hang on to their lifeline, hold on to their map for the time being. 10 rounds to go to OT.
Yeah, Zedka can just try and think about a sneak, try and catch Spiro up on the other side. The Deagle interconnector doesn't quite see him. I think he finally did notice. Got to be careful about how aggressive he takes it because the swing can come out from PHR.
Molotov's in, Spero leans up, shock seen. Oscar gets his kill back onto Spero, so a 4 versus 4. Marcos also chimes in, and Oscar can trade it back in the York v York battles. Did lose 1 AK for it. Zedko's on 1 point of HP, so getting the AK in his hands probably won't be all that impactful here for the Sinners. Relying heavily on Beastick and Oscar to bring this round back.
Just over-facing there unnecessarily from Wisla. They've got a 4-on-3. They don't need Marcos to make another play. Just hold on to the advantage, and instead you're starting to fuel Oscar up again. And you'd have to imagine that if he slow walks this AWP into the site, he could find another entry.
Well, the M4 could catch him off first. It's all a case of positioning at a pre-fire angle, and Jedka will win out that fight. Now Beastick knows what's going on. There is no adjustment. Jedka doesn't need to, though. 2 kills. Zedko 1 on 3. And even the tight angle being held by Goofy. Very difficult to read this position, and Goofy's going to exploit that to its perfection. And there you go. 6th to the board of Wisla. Forced buy going awry for Sinners. And I imagine there should be an eco buy now for the T side.
The problem we have here, though, is even if Wisla show us a lot, and they really put on a good performance on their CT side, Jay, they were down 0-14. And it just means that now with Sinners on map point, all it's going to take is 1 round. An eco, a force buy, a gun round, and it could even be this one.
Pack 9 rush. Nades on, damage done quite heavily, and the crossfire works out well enough here for the CT side. Jedka ends up with 2 kills. Actually, 1 kill, in fact. Goofy stole the 2 frags. Wisla on to deal with that round pretty effectively. It was a half buy. You were right, Sinners could have won it had they not been prepared on the CT side. It's all held together regardless by the defensive forces. Now the guns will come back out for Sinners. The rifle buy is in effect.
And Sinners taking a while to close out here, and you'd have to imagine that if we do go for a few more rounds, a tactical timeout is going to be necessary. And Wisla just trying to see if they can ride this momentum. Marcos still taking an aggressive approach. Spiro AWPing with him. Doesn't quite hit that first shot out to long.
Boost up for Neo frag. Spotted there on the jump face. He knows that the CT's seen him, and Jedka's ready for a boost to come back for them. They'll trade blows back and forth for the wall bangs. Continuous burst fire and taps from the M4 PHR, just suppressing incendiaries as well to try and force them off angle. They're not in that boost position though. They're back at short water.
Oh, great spot for PHR, seeing them both in that pipe angle. So knowing that the T's are still hanging around gives them the indication of, okay, let's keep 3 on B. Another resmoke down to that monster position. Minute left on the clock. Sinners still options to bring that bomb back up to A. It does seem as though Zedko's just going to be the lurk on A, and the end execution is going to be on B, and Marcos actually deals with that lurk player.
A little bit of aggression for Wisla, and they catch off the kill for it. Advantage for the CT forces. Molotovs will burn Goofy, and he'll get out of dodge. 3 players now out towards the monster control. Shock walking in with the incendiaries out towards the toxic barrels already smoked off at the cross. And Shock will walk in to a relatively open site here. They're back up at water. Goofy is spotted and sprayed up, so all-important kill. Look out towards him, and Sparrow's AWP is up there. Shock can't deal with him, and Sparrow will get both those kills. Meanwhile, the bomb plant will be attempted and secured. So it's 2 players left to fend off the incoming CTs.
Yeah, Oscar's got to back up his teammate. Beastick does not have a lot of room to reposition, and Wisla have got a lot of players up to this heaven position.
Good shot in for Sparrow. The taps of the AK not good enough. Oscar is going to get that 1 kill, but got to look out towards Ramp. He's going to get flashed away and escapes ire of the CT side. Looking for the diffuser as they stick it and cover him off. The crossfire's in. Oscar can't reface. He can't go all the way out there. He'll get that 2nd kill. The PHR will secure the frag after the diffuser's already stuck there by Jedka. There'll be 8 rounds to the board of Wisla. They're starting to bring this back within not touching distance, but it's still doable from here. 7 rounds to go.
Yeah, smoking off that default position and not Heaven just gave free range for Spiro. The in-game leader's going to have an easy time when you're playing up in that Heaven position and you're just not getting forced off angle by any util, holding his ground. Even Marcos with that opening kill to give them the 5-on-4. A lot of impact being found by the Orbs.
Nades in, smokes down, flashes over. Marcos rotate away towards the mid position. Incendiary at the ready. Shock faces forward, sees the first, sees the second. Is Spiro there with the opening kill? Not quite as great against Neofrag, who gets his trades in. The AWP from PHR, or sorry, the nade I should say from PHR, getting a response of his Zedco burn. So once again, Sinner's trying to go faster into this one, and Wisla just dismantling them for it. One trade for Oscar, but they need to find a man advantage.
Get back to that bomb could be slightly difficult if there is still some more jump spots for information. Now for Sinners, they don't know if we've had any over-aggression down to short pipe or over to that monster position, so they kind of have to commit with what they know and just go into this A.
Marcos getting up with the AWP. Is he going to overextend? Is Oscar going to force him out? He will do. Molotov. Get the AWP out in the open. Good kill for Beastie. Back to 2v2. Player spotted back at Dumpster. Oscar looking for his one tap. It's baiting in the man. The smoke also goes down. And Oscar will go for the safe plant over at Truck. Covered off towards this Dumpster angle. So 2v2 retake with Wisla. They have kits, but Sinners now 40 seconds away from the win.
And they have Oscar still alive in this post plant. Jed could try to make some noise. Both players coming in from the same angle. Even seeing Beastic very extended out to this bank position and could catch them off. They're not looking the right way. That's the first player. Now Jedka's got to try and clutch. They don't know where he is, so Oscar's really turned. Jedka whips it, and it doesn't quite come through. Oscar with 33 kills in that first map of Overpass. And Sinners, it took a while to close. They still get the job done on the first map.